for tuning in. My name's Kisha. I'm the founder of Upgraded Mindsets and the host of the Empowering Real Talk podcast. Since you are tuning in, let me tell you, expect unfiltered dialogues on relevant topics designed to help unlock effective personal, professional, and entrepreneurial growth. The Empowering Real Talk podcast will encourage you to implement any necessary steps to activate and achieve greater success on any and every level. Listen, in order for us to grow individually and as a whole, these conversations are necessary. I appreciate your support. Let's get it. What up, y'all? Welcome back to Empowering Real Talk. It is your girl, Coach K Transforms, and I am here with another dope session. Listen, I appreciate you so much for tuning in. If you have not hit the subscribe button already, please go ahead and do so right now, because you know, in order for us to grow individually and as a whole, these conversations are necessary. As you can see, I am doing an in-person interview here today at Empowering Real Talk. So I want to give my guest the honors of introducing herself. Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm doing fine. How are you?
I'm good. Please let my listeners know your name.
Okay. Hello, listeners. My name is Johnette Johnson. I do use my middle initial D. So Johnette D Johnson.
I love it.
And I'm here to enjoy
and bring some empowering real talk.
Exactly. Let you know what we're doing.
Absolutely. And I appreciate you so much for being here. We are here in Peoria, Illinois, as you guys know, and we actually got connected through a mutual and dope queen. So I'm super appreciative of that, because that's what this is all about for me, you guys. I love being able to connect with other amazing women who are really out here doing their community service and doing their work. So I'm going to allow her to kind of tell us a little bit more about you.
Okay. Well, as I said, my name is Johnette D Johnson, and I was born and raised right here in Peoria, Illinois, under the Pentecostal faith. And that's very important, because the program that I'm going to speak with you on today is Christian based.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Love it.
I kind of got that rearing up, and then I'll just tell you how God started working on me with that program.
Come on. I love it. And yes, we are definitely going to get into that. So actually, let's tell, you're here from Peoria as well, right?
Peoria,
okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Single mother of two.
Okay.
When I came back home, I had left. I'm from Peoria, but I left at the age of 16. I lived in Milwaukee for 7 years, and then I moved to Cleveland, and I lived at Cleveland for 7 years, and then we came back in 98.
Okay. Nice. I love it. Yeah. I love it. So kind of dive into the backstory of why we are walking this journey that we in now, sis.
Well, I believe this is, it is ministry motivated. It's something, I was working a job, and I really didn't care for the job, no Lord, but I began to write. I wrote poetry ever since I was 9, but I really got into it at the age of 11.
Okay.
I got into it at the age of 11, and so I started writing. It's funny because I got a 16 poem that I wrote at 16, so I can see where I was thinking things then. But anyway, God led in my heart. I wrote poetry, and I wrote one called The Hands of the Man. I don't know where it came from, just started writing, and I didn't know where the Lord was taking me with it, but he told me to write a book, and it's called Kept in Silence, but the Pain is So Loud. Oh. And then he said, build a program around it, which is called Breaking the Silence, so that we can heal. And so that's where we are. And I tried it in, gave it to me in 2004.
I was 3 years ago.
Yes. I was working at a Christian radio station, and I also had a job at the insurance company. Okay. Still, my children were a little younger and not quite adult. And so I learned a lot about it. But then it just wasn't the time that I had too much just going on. And so now that I'm older, let me try
gracefully
this again.
Gracefully and that.
Yes. Let me try this again, Lord, because so it's getting up there. I'll put all or nothing in it right now.
I love it. And like, what was it about it that, you felt, because like you said that you just started writing one day, right? Like tell us a little bit about like what brought you to that.
Okay. Like I said, I was at a job that
tell us about your job.
I don't want to say too much. Let's just say I couldn't stand going there.
Yeah.
And I knew it was just temporary. A lot was going on that wasn't quite professional. So I said, Lord,
just talk about that enough.
Yeah.
We don't talk about that. And because honestly, like even at my previous job, and they know I'm very vocal, I don't say their name or whatever, but they know I'm very vocal about how I felt like that the management was trash, you know? But I being let go from that job in 2020, I was on this journey right then, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I didn't really was unsure about where I was going.
Yes.
You know, I was on my own personal transformation, but I also had already started coaching.
Okay.
So it was like, am I gonna, you know, walk this journey full time? Or am I going to go find me another job? Well, needless to say, I took a step on faith, you know, and stepped into this full time, you know. Yeah. And like, even with you beginning with the poetry, you know, you say it's like, you just started writing.
It's how the hands of the man. And I'm thinking, so it ended up being my domestic violence thing. And so each day, I started writing, and I wasn't writing what I usually, stars and rainbows and things like that. Right. Where is this coming from? Then I knew.
So you had switched up.
Yes. I took every subject that we are not comfortable to talk about and wrote a poem about it. So then I felt led to take 5 subjects and build a program around those 5 subjects. And so that's where I'm at. That's how Breaking the Silence started.
That is amazing. Like, and I know, and please feel free to stop me wherever you feel, but I know that you spoke a little bit about domestic violence. Yes. So is that something that you have experienced?
Something that I have, but I think it was domestic violence on both ends because I fought back.
Right. and you know, we do that.
But it's still domestic violence.
Absolutely.
Still doing violence.
Absolutely.
So, I have been there, and the other poems that I talk about, they're either my own experience or someone close that I know experience. Yeah.
And I appreciate that so much, you know, because we as women, we have been suppressed.
Yes.
We suppress our own emotions, but society also makes us believe that we ain't supposed to talk about that.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And I really think that what happened with you just coming out and saying, I'm writing something totally different,
right.
You know, because it was time for that part to come out for you.
And made it accessible because it has to, there's a young man, I love him to death. His name is Eugene Terrell Booker. Anyway, he's native for Peoria, but he was in Texas and been there for a while. So I wrote the portrait, and I said, Mom, you know what I used to do? I was sharing with my mom. I said, I want a big frame, and I want artwork to go with the portrait. But then it has a 5x7 of someone died from that.
Okay.
And so she called me back. I got Gene's number. She said, he's an artist and everything. So what I did when we hooked up, and I told him, I said, well, Eugene, what I'm going to do, I'm going to send you one poem at a time. I'm not going to tell you what to draw. I just want you to speak what you hear, you know, give the sight to it, you know. So he did that, and I loved each and every one of them.
That's amazing.
Yes.
And that just goes to show the level of, first of all, collaboration.
Yes.
The level of creativity that we have, and we just sis, that is phenomenal.
Those are called our Breaking the Silence collection frames. They're big, but we're changing over to canvases now. Okay. They're heavy, and it kind of people into canvas.
Absolutely. And they are. You're definitely right about that. So tell us a little bit more about like the writing that you did and like getting your programs together. Okay. Like, when did that actually come into fruition? Like, when did the thought become an action?
Okay. Once I got off that job, and I stayed home, and I opened up a children's daycare. I did several things. So I opened up a children's daycare at that time, and I had more time to put into what I was working in. And so, like I said, I continued the writings because I thought that the book was coming forward. But when I was at home, and it was more like, okay, build a program. And it's, well, what's the program? And it's like, kept in silence ain't so loud, so let's help break the silence. You know, and I'm not telling you what breaking the silence. I tell the people that I speak with, I'm not telling you to go and blast everything because it is sensitive anyway. But if you can talk to one person and you let that tongue set you free,
better talk about it.
You know, so that's what I say. Somebody that you're comfortable with. You don't have to go everywhere, tell nobody nothing, but someone that you are secure with. And if not, you can always talk to Jesus. He already know. And you know, so we want to just break the silence so the healing can begin, and to let them know that they're not by themselves. It is not a racist thing. This stuff is for everyone. And so the 5 things we talk about is domestic violence, child molestation, drug addiction, suicide, and our murdered youth in one program.
Them is some powerful topics.
Yeah.
Powerful. But y'all hear me say all the time, these conversations are the ones that are necessary. Like, and it's more common than we want to really talk about, right? It's more common than we want to believe. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. And, you know, of course, the stats can say one thing. And even with the statistics, I don't always necessarily believe them 100%. I'm believing what I see with my own eyes.
That's right.
I'm believing the conversations that people are coming to me and having, because being a woman's advocate, for all of those things,
yes,
I have these conversations,
yes,
and people are so scared to come forward because they're scared of being judged. You know what I'm saying? Yes. They're feared of somebody coming after them because of what they've gone through,
and just the embarrassment or the shame,
victimizing the victim.
Yes,
and I think that is amazing. Like, when did you what year did this actually?
This came to me in 2004. But a lot happening. Like I said, it was a lot going on. So I never sued. I'm brand new. I was green at it. Don't really.
Yeah.
Even now, starting again. Sickness came in. Just everything.
Let's talk a little bit about that. Because like I said, we we don't judge here. No. You know what I'm saying? So like, definitely share a little bit more. Okay. About what happened that kind of put a halt to things.
Well, it was my daughter was finding me unresponsive. I wouldn't wake up in the hospital for 3 or 4 days each time. And it started that was in 2010 that began.
Okay.
And so I really kind of put it in a closet and said, well, Lord, I prayed over it. If it's for me to come back out with it, you'll know the time.
Right.
And so now is the time. For such a time as this.
such a crazy journey. Yeah. Like, you really were unconscious. Yeah. Being found, and like, were they able to like diagnose you immediately?
Yes. They no, not immediately, because it was several things that I had that fell under different things. So they kind of gave it a name, because they said it mostly was they being sleep motivated, like the sleep. I hadn't slept for 5 days. I really couldn't sleep, and so I was scared at the time.
I bet.
I was like, well, if I go to sleep, whatever,
am I gonna wake up?
Exactly. If I don't get enough sleep, then I'm
gonna be too tired. Then I'm gonna be in the hospital again. Yeah.
So I just had to lay, Lord, I'm here. I gotta, and I had people praying for me, and working with me, and so I thank God for that.
I love it. I think that is phenomenal. Yes. So now that you've been diagnosed, were you like, did you encounter any like down depression or anything like that throughout the journey?
It wasn't that. It wasn't the only thing. Like I said, I was concerned with my sleep. If I go to sleep, I may not get up again. But if I don't go to sleep, it causes me to be back in the hospital again. But thank God, I think it's been since 2011 or so. I have not been back in the hospital again.
Come on, let's talk.
I have not been.
Let's talk about it.
As a single mom, I wanted to be able. I said, well, I don't have much, but I wanted to be able to help other mothers and things, because I knew where I came from. I had a Goodwill across the street, because there was a time where I needed to give my daughter some things, and I got a lot of things with tags on it. So I'm not ashamed of that. I was able to buy them.
Let's talk about it now, because folks going now to
exactly,
and they TikToking it. Okay, yes. So ain't no shame, y'all.
And I said, I just wanted to. I would be help. So he broke the program down into. First of all, is awareness.
Okay.
And that's why I go and do speakings, awareness of the subjects that we talked about. And then the second is aid, just giving aid to women and children, to help them be able to be successful, giving them the tools, giving them the things they need, such as maybe my baby need a bed, or we're on the floor, I need a couch, or all those things. I'm believing God will help with this program, so I'll be able to aid to them getting back on their feet.
Absolutely.
Coming from any of those subjects, or maybe not being so, but just need help.
Yeah. That and just to be able to have that space, right?
Yes.
Because we know that there are so many different variations that people that may need, especially women.
Yes.
And I love that you are that resource.
Thank you.
I love that you are walking that, because not for one, you've experienced it, and I think that we can have all the education in the world, right?
That's right.
But real life experience, to me, when it comes to those type of situations, will always trump.
Yes.
I'm not taking away from those with education.
Right.
I'm not, but I'm just saying, because I also have gone through those experiences. I am a domestic violence survivor.
Yes.
People look at me and be like, Kisha, you was not. And I was.
Yes.
But it was like you said earlier, we were domestic violence against each other.
And it still was domestic violence.
That part, and there's no, oh, well, it was this because, I was defending myself.
Yes.
But I was initiating as well.
Yes.
And
most times they're stronger enough, but, still.
Exactly.
Not, you just try to find that.
Yep. And then also, just going through, gun violence.
Yes.
My youngest, was shot, and his best friend was killed at 14.
Oh, my goodness.
And he suffers from PTSD now because of that. He still has nightmares. It's going to be 9 years, so, but I've carried a burden of guilt with that because I was a boy mom house growing up. So the boys used to always be in my house. So like what happened is that weekend I told them that they couldn't stay at the house. I was tired of them. Yes. I was tired of the kids. Okay. And, unfortunately that circumstance happened and I had to live with that because I was like, if I would have let them stay, but, God was like, stop, he knew it. Stop that, and then, the young man who's lost his life, me and his mom are super close. She doesn't blame me, at all, but I had to get over that with me. Yes. But like just someone that has gone through probably everything that you described.
It is a lot of them out there and they will be surprised how many people, and you spoke that I raise girls, I have daughters, but they had all boys. Yes. So I got 4 grandsons. And so I kind of can see the best of both. Yeah. Absolutely. And pros and cons on some things. But you know what? Experience is a teacher. Yes. It is. It most definitely is. A teacher. And we also have the sowing seeds of success. And that stemmed from me being at the library and I saw a young lady and a young man and I heard her, she was right by me. I heard her tell him I don't have enough to make the copies I need for class. Oh, wow. And so I just reached in my pocket. I don't know how much it was, but I just gave her that which I had. And the Lord's sowing seeds of success. And that initiated that. Yes, that initiated. It's so crazy how one situation can turn around and create a whole vision. Isn't that something? You know what I'm saying? I love it though, but I love that you are following through with all of those things. All of those experiences, you have followed through, regardless if they have gotten to where, because of course people think because you've been doing something for a long time that you're just supposed to be at this super mega star place. You know what I'm saying? But your purpose ain't stopped. Okay. We ain't got no big money. Matter of fact, I'm trying to get funding now, but what I had done, everything I have done, they come and, just. Yeah. So, but, because of that purpose. Because of the purpose. Mm-hmm. The purpose. I have to do. And like I said, we use original art and we use poetry. I love that. Speaking of poetry, yes, I know that you have some things here. I would love for you to read something to our audience. Y'all want to hear that? Go ahead. I will just kind of give you an idea, and you can go online at the website and you can see the poetry and the picture. Absolutely. And the link to that will be in the podcast detail notes, guys. So we're going to go ahead and let her roll out. We have this one. It's a friend to the end. And it says, when I introduced myself to you, I felt temporary comfort and peace of mind. When all seemed bleak and hard to bear, my newfound friend I would seek to find. I never had to look very far, for you were always near and close at hand. And no matter what I shared with you, I knew that you would understand. You became the object of my desire, replacing family values and old-time friends. Such a friend and guiding light. Who would have believed you'd take my life? You still pretended to be a friend to so many taken in by your game. What was your name anyway? And he answers rock, crack, cocaine. Oh, so that's the and then there's the one that I a midnight drear. This is for you said the youth. Are you? Yes, please. It said it came upon a midnight drear, a parent's nightmare, deepest fear. The words our hearts refuse to hear. Our baby, our child, who we love so dear. How could you speak those words of so clear? Our precious child is no longer here. Minds racing forward, so many questions and so little of answers. Shot, stabbed, or ill diagnosed with cancer. Whatever the reason for this heartbreak departure that results in pain and tears. How could you speak the words of drear, the words we fear and refuse to hear, but you say it so clear, our child is no longer here. Ooh. Yeah, so it's just, ooh, that gave me goosebumps, y'all. Listen, I'm telling you, like, those are amazing. Thank you. Like, I'm trying not to get emotional over here because it really resonates. You know what I'm saying? Like, it really resonates because we spend so much time suppressing those emotions. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Scared so for you to scared to talk about them, it's okay to not be okay. Yes. Okay. And as we record this, we're in May and it's Mental Health Awareness Month. And I have really been advocating for that on so many different levels. Exactly. Whether through my own business, whether through NAMI, sit on the board of directors here for my local affiliate. Yes. But also just being that supportive space. You're right.
You know, that non-judgmental space.
Exactly.
You know, we need that.
We need it.
You know what I'm saying? And there are, you know, organizations all around, but I don't think a lot of them give that sense of personal support.
And I think the customer service, I was saying, for years really helps out because we have to realize that someone could went through the same experience, but well, I would say one don't fit all.
Yeah.
One shirt don't fit all. You learn that individual.
Yes.
Be led and you see how you can help that person because one may be outspoken and one may hardly say a word. So even though they can relate in that, we have to capture who they are.
Absolutely.
To be able to aid.
And that involves allowing them to be who they are. Come on.
Yep.
Come on, y'all.
Right.
Y'all heard that instinct, y'all, right? It really just boils down to we have to allow people to be who they are. Yeah. Just because you might not agree with who they are, and especially if they are working on themselves,
that's right.
You know, working on becoming better versions of themselves, we have to allow that to happen. Because I know what I had to go through, and I went through some ugly phases.
Yes.
You know, even before the transformation in 2020, I went through some ugly phases.
Yes.
You know, but I went through some angry phases because I was mad.
Yes.
Mad because I was not prioritizing myself. Mad because I put myself in a lot of situations, you know, and yay. But that accountability is life-changing.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
It is.
And it allows us to open up and begin
who we are.
Yes.
And like you said, non-judgmental. And I got one short point.
Go ahead.
Because that is important. It's called pointing fingers, arms of love. Pointing finger says, look at her, always roaming the street and running into club after club. There's always a different man walking by her side, and I hear she's sprung out on drugs. But Arms of Love said, do you know the road she's had to travel? And have you shown her any love? You're already giving your pointing finger. Why not your arms in form of a hug? And who are we to judge? So it is important to know.
No judgment zone.
Yes.
We really have to get out of judging people, looking at people with our nose just
what they've been through.
And you just don't know. Especially now. This year has been the year of exposing.
Yes.
This year has been the year of,
my prayer partner. I just shared, I told her, the Lord said this is a year of exposure.
It is. It is.
That confirmation. That's it.
It's the year of exposure.
Coverage are being.
We don't want to hear some of the stuff that's being exposed, but it's still got to be exposed.
Exactly.
Because in order for us to find solution, to find resolution, we have to go through these things.
That's right. And this program is for everyone because even though the victim, but it's also for the predator, the one that causes, because if we can deal with their pain, see what's going on with them, we have less victims. And so even the book, I say that it is to all. And God showed me something with the rose. And if you notice, the rose has them thorns.
Yeah.
And if you see a male there and a woman in front of him, and he's giving her this rose, but she always receiving this rose, but he's pressing upon the thorn and blood is coming down. And then she's on the other side receiving the rose, and she's bleeding also. I said, so who needs help? Both of them. Both of them need help.
Oh, wow. That's a powerful analogy.
Yeah, both of them need help. They're both bleeding out. So this
y'all.
It's something.
These conversations are necessary.
Yes.
Baby. So tell us a little bit more about Breaking Silence. Like, what is our goal behind it? And like, where are we trying to reach? What are we trying to do? Because you already know Upgraded Mindsets is definitely going to, you know, we will have conversations after the fact, because I'm definitely interested in becoming more involved. And you guys will also be able to do that as well, because the details will also be in the podcast detail notes. So, but let us know, you know, what's upcoming. What do you visualize for next year?
Start the going out and speaking to people. I have done that before. 2 of the frames were at Carver Center before. I did speak at Women's Strength. This was in 2004. This was when I started then. And then I went to Women's Strength, and they had where you go and fill out the papers. What is that? To keep the mail away or whoever keep them.
Oh, restraining order. Yes.
Restraining order. There was one frame on domestic violence, and it had a young woman, her name is Chandra Rice, and she was right here in Peoria. She did get away from her husband. Her family was telling me she got away from her husband, but he asked her to come over and watch her, come and do something to help her out. And she, the time she got 2 boys, but I think the 4-year-old was there, and she came and done it. And next thing you know, she was in flames. He had put lighter fluid on her, and sent her to her, where they burnt her up, and she was in the hospital during her birthday, but she did die. She did die.
And it's so I've heard so many, and especially with our younger generations, we're seeing like a rise in domestic violence through our younger generations.
In high school.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's there.
I actually did a visit to our local jail here, speaking with the juvenile girls out there, and they're just like, my man. And I'm like, how old are you? I'm 14. And it's like,
yeah.
like, oh, baby. You know.
Cases of that.
Yeah.
They getting hit. They getting, at a young age.
Yeah. They're having those conversations out there.
Yes.
They're talking about that.
Yeah.
But because it's so normalized, because we see these celebrities doing it, so now they feel like it's okay to talk about it.
Yes.
And it's not. It's never okay for that.
No.
You do not have to subject yourself to that just to have a man. And same for me, and you don't have to, because I know that women are domestic abusers as well. Yeah,
right.
We ain't.
That's right.
Listen.
We will help men too if they come.
Absolutely.
Help us help.
Yes.
And so we try to do that. But I agree with you 100%. It is not, we should normalize it.
Yeah.
It shouldn't, that's not
absolutely. Well, like I said, we are definitely going to make sure here at Upgraded Mindsets, I'm going to make sure that, whatever resources I have, because again, and then also having your resources, because I never know when I come across that conversation.
Exactly.
And then that's what it's really about.
It is.
Being able to have those resources and have that communication to know that I know that I'm not judging,
right? But to
also be able to know that I can refer them to somebody that I know is not judging either.
There you go.
You know what I'm saying? So I think that that's amazing. Like I said, we are located here in Peoria, Illinois. But like I said, her website details will be provided. So if you guys are interested in looking at, if you're interested in donating, to the cause, all of those information will be listed in the podcast information. I'm so glad that you came back.
Thank you.
I'm so glad that you came and just dropped the note. And let them know one more time the name of both.
Yes. Breaking the Silence Awareness Outreach Program, AOP. And that's for Awareness Outreach Program on Breaking the Silence. You want to put the AOP because there are other Breaking the Silence, different things.
Right.
So make sure you put the AOP at the back. No spaces. Breaking the Silence.
Just straight like that. Okay.
Yes.
All right. Well, it has been a pleasure.
Thank you.
I appreciate you for coming and just shedding light on stuff that we need to talk about and the conversations, you know. And like I said, if you guys are interested in speaking with her, her details will be listed if you're interested in having her speak. Not only does she do local, but she does do virtual as well, as you can see. So, don't hesitate to reach out. I'll make sure that all her details are in the notes. And like I said, if you want to reach out to me, if you have questions on that, this is a no judgment zone.
That's right.
If you are experiencing any of these things that we talked about today, please do not hesitate to reach out. Sometimes it's easier to reach out to a stranger than it is to our family and friends.
Very much.
But again, this is a no judgment zone. If you have been following me for any length of time, then you know that I stand on that 10 toes down. Okay. But it's okay to get help.
Yes.
I encourage you to get help. I encourage you to find the resources, and I encourage you to gather the strength to prevail and be resilient.
That's right.
All right. All right, y'all. So I'm going to go ahead and head out of here. Johnette, thank you again for being here.
For having me.
And y'all know
who may hear from you guys.
Absolutely. And you better. Okay? No.
That's the thing. She do it.
Hey, and I appreciate that. Thank you. But as you say, just walking in this purpose.
Yes.
And I just didn't, in 2019, you'd have never told me that this is where I'd be.
Wow.
Look
at that.
Yeah.
You have to be available.
I do.
And willing to do that.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So
thank you.
No, thank you for coming. All right, y'all. We'll holler at y'all later. Don't hesitate to reach out if you are interested in being a guest on Empowering Real Talk. That link will be in the podcast notes as well. So just make sure you check out the podcast notes to get any information that you might need from this episode. All right. Follow me on Coach K Transforms on all platforms. And I want y'all to stay empowered, baby. Till next time.